Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, Books, Girls, and Purrs. My name's Leslie. Oh my goodness. All right, so I'm getting ready to watch Interview the Vampire. But before that, let's look at some more artwork from Instagram. Here we go. What's the best way to do this? Oh no. Nope. This is better. Nope. Ridiculous. All right, Tariel is here with me to react. um, let's go. So who is this? Trash Can Prinsta did this one of Santiago and Armand. Well, let me go back because I think there's more artwork. This one is by same person. I became a vampire when I was 17. That is why I always look 17. In those days, of course, life was tough for a 17-year-old. Mm. Lupini did Lestat. What's this? Mystical Blur did this. I really like this one. This is Claudia and Louis by Cake 1289. I love this one. This is by Cold Sugar. Lupini again. Is this related? What is this? It's probably something else. Oh, I like this one of Daniel. I mean, I love this one. This is by far my favorite. I love this what do you call it? This artist I love this style. It's very cool. I love this the mute cute between Madeline and Claudia. I love this. It's Nikki. I think I've shown this one before, and I pinned it. I don't want to. I saved it, and I want to unsave it because it's really beautiful. Here's our Louis. Actually, let's go back for a second. I love this one. I feel like I may have looked at this one before. And this is gorgeous. I think this might be one of the last ones, or we're getting closer. This one is another one I've shown before, but I love it so much. I'm so excited. All right, let's get this set up. All right, so let me think. I have my popcorn. It says me watching the drama unfold, and I'll finish. I don't have tequila, but I do have beer. So let's finish. So I got Orville, and it's about that time. I hope you got your snacks together. I don't know what's gonna happen in this episode. I know we're gonna see Armand. It's basically gonna be like an Armand origin story. I just want to know if we're gonna see a little bit at the end of things memories starting to come to Daniel, or if it's gonna be because I know it's gonna come up in episode 5, but I wonder how much is gonna be sprinkled at in here. But anyways, Tariel's ready. She's tired of me. In a second, I'm gonna put myself on mute and start watching with you. So I'm gonna be available to chat, but I will be on mute because I'll be watching. And I've been avoiding spoilers all day. So let me get this set up. Oh my goodness, will this let me? All right, the episode just ended. Oh my god. What do we talk about first? Mm, Tariel is out. All right. I'll keep this short. Um, the episode was incredible. I definitely think that Armand's account of the relationship with Louis is a lie. I read the books, and I think that what we're seeing is just what he's told Louis. And Armand said something, and I don't know if it's actually the truth, and he's passing it off as like hyperbole, but he said something like, "I knew Lestat a century ago," or "I saw him a century ago yesterday. What is time?" And I'm like, I know there's like an exchange of blood, so I'm thinking that between Armand and Lestat, so I'm sure when Claudia and Louis show up, I'm thinking that he must know who their um I know that Armand would know who their maker is in that way. Some sort of some sort of sense. I don't know. I'm grabbing at straws here. Also, if Armand knows the truth and he's just been waiting this whole time for Louis to say it, in Paris, um, does that mean like Santiago and the Coven knows, or is it just that Armand knows and they sense that something's up? Your Valentine says, I don't know. I think that it is very true to him. That is how the relationship felt that he gave. And because his feelings weren't reciprocated, it turned into he used me. Yeah. Okay. Let me ask you something though. Have you read the books? Can you see? I always, I just feel like there's more to the story. And there's something going on. There's just more to the story to also Nikki. And I just want to know, when is that even gonna get revealed? Is that gonna be at the end of the season? Is that gonna be season 3 when he gets someone else's? Oh, hi, I haven't seen this episode yet. Ah! Okay. Wild Marjoram. This episode is so good. There's so much going on. Um, so just so you know, I'm gonna talk about it a little bit. And your Valentine has read the books. Um, okay. So your Valentine, you know how do I say this? There's something that happens to Nikki in the books that they're not saying here. And don't you think that's just something that Armand wouldn't want Louis to know? Your Valentine says, I'm going purely based on what the episode showed. Well, I know he's being very, let's say he is taking some liberties. Yeah, I think it's his side of the story. I mean, they touch upon how Nikki didn't, or Aman says, like, when he asks Lestat, um, basically, did Nikki take well to the gift, right? Because not everyone reacts well to the change. And so, yeah, I just feel like there's going to be more, but I don't know how it's going to come out. And also, okay, so when Claudia gets initiated, we as the audience learn the rules and how they're putting it. And so let's think about that. Um, yeah, let's think about. I'm jumping all over the place. You're gonna have to rein me in. Let's think about the rules. And one of the rules, someone so young is not supposed to be made, which is Claudia. But I like that they're setting up other rules that would also work against them, that would work better on the show. Like, you're not supposed to kill another vampire. That's in the books. Um, but they said unless it's like determined by the Coven Master, right? And the other one was no other vampire should be made that's up to the Coven Master. And so we know from the trailer that Claudia and Louis turned Madeline, right? That's in the trailer, I'm not spoiling anything. So that's going to be something that also, right, against them. Yeah, because that's what like the rules, right? Uh, oh my God, you're right. And that's right. Thank you. So you think, is it the fact that Louis is going to remember and read them, or do you think those pages are finally going to be released to Daniel, or he's going to get to them somehow? Oh my gosh, this episode was intense. Until I'm going back to my above the chat. I love that in the narration, while Daniel is in Dubai, he says, "Oh, I got to meet this guy," and I'm like, "You're gonna meet him. I think you're gonna meet him in episode 8." I'm assuming. And I like that we're getting like two characters, right? The one in Louis' head and Armand saying "Come to me" to Louis. There's that struggle, right? Yeah. Your Valentine says, "I think Louis will read them first." Yeah. Let me ask you. Okay, so yeah, Louis is gonna read them first. Do you think that triggers Louis, and that's the scene of when all the books come down from the shelf? That because in the trailer we just see all these like everything's crashing down and falling towards Daniel who's at the table. I'm just wondering if it's actually Louis, because if he's drunk from Lestat and if he's drunk from Armand and so much time has passed, he probably has. I mean, he could jump up there at the very least. Your Valentine. Oh my god, yes. Armand made a weird parallel to his courting of Lestat and the way Lestat seduces Louis. The stalking first, yeah. I don't know. I go full tinfoil hat, so there's so many things I could be wrong about, even though I read the books. I'm totally gonna watch this again. Okay, and then speaking of um like foreshadowing, you see this is why I'm wondering if it still happens because Lestat comes in holding that like what do you call that statue of the crucified Jesus, and when it drops, he picks up a hand, and so the hand broke. That's why I wonder. I still think we're gonna see what happened to Nikki, and that was like a tip of the hat, if you will, to us, the people who have read the books. I think I'm totally looking back at my checks and trying to remember everything. Oh, and also when there's a moment when like early on in the episode when Claudia and Louis are trying to craft like their story that they're telling the coven, and she like kind of gets a little bit snappy with Louis, but then she says, but then you see her look in the mirror and you could just tell sh Claudia looks like she wants to cry, but she's like holding it in. And I thought that was like an incredible performance by Delaney. She's just incredible. And I really love, I'm looking back at my notes, I love the backstory of Santiago and how that creates tension and how that really it just it's just like Santiago's backstory enriches the entire story and the complications and the tension that's going on with the coven, right? Which is similar to what happened with Armand and Lestat's dynamic, right? Like Lestat came in and like disbanded the coven. Um, and Armand is saying, a- according to his version of it, is like, oh yeah, he did the work that the coven wouldn't listen to me anyways. So he's taking kind of credit for a manipulation, according to him. What I'm trying to get to is Lestat is on stage, and girl, you're so naughty. Hold on a second. I'll be on a couple minutes. Oh my god, my crazy cat. So there, I feel like this happens twice. Lestat is on stage, and he kind of says like, uh, basically that the coven's on board, and the coven members are in the seats. And then I feel like that moment happens again, and you see like Armand's losing power twice. Once in this moment with Lestat and Armand, and in another moment with Santiago and Armand, because Santiago's on that stage and you could see like the other coven members kind of looking at them like, bro, we're not with you. We're with whatever Santiago wants to do. Here Valentine says, Claudia's episode facial acting was incredible. Yeah. You could tell everything at the moment just by her lip quiver. Yes. She was like she was incredible. I'm just gonna keep singing that actress's praises. And I mean, just in that moment, yes, like you're saying, like just a lip quiver. Because you, I mean, Here's the thing, like, someone could act and, like, let all their emotions out. I think it must be so much harder to portray, like, emotions bubbling up and trying to, like, keep them in, you know? And so, yeah, she did an incredible job with that scene and then her whole monologue to Louis, where Louis can't bring himself to, talk about, being scared and being like, "I think we gotta bounce." Because I feel like he feels like, after everything she's been through, he I think he feels like, "I can't do this to her again," like, rip her away from something that she's actually potentially enjoying, is kinda how I felt, like, how that was going. What was the other thing? I don't know how Daniel's gonna do it because Daniel's just a regular old human. How is he gonna keep all those thoughts to himself? I mean, because here's the thing. I think because Louis intruded last episode, I think they're possibly backing away from reading his thoughts. That's his only saving grace at this moment, that they're not fishing into his thoughts, because Armand and Louis feel like they both overstepped in the last episode. I'm totally looking back at my Oh, yeah. Alright, your Valentine says, "Raglan just dropped so much on his all at once. Also, Daniel needs to learn how to minimize the folders." No. You're like, "Bro, how long have you been a journalist?" How did he expect Daniel to take all that in while also being in the middle of an interview? I don't know. Raglan James is messy, probably. That's why. Yeah, I there was speculate you know what's so wild? There's been so much speculation, and I'm only on YouTube and Insta, so there's only so much I hear. There's so many other forums where people are talking, but I thought his character was gonna be David Talbot, but instead it's Raglan James, which is cool because it seemed like the majority of theories were it's either, Daniel Talbot or who was the other guy? They thought it was somebody else. I forgot the other person. I forgot who the other theory was. David Talbot. Yes, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm mixing up the names. Yeah. I thought he was gonna be David too, and it's not. It's Raglan James, which I don't know if we're ever gonna see David, or what I thought early on is that Daniel Malloy is like I kind of thought they're meshing um the boy interviewer and David Talbot. Not him as like being in Talamasca, but like David Talbot's storyline because he co-authors all the books, right? At some point. So that's what I was thinking. But yeah, there is so much going on in this episode. I am gonna g I'm gonna be watching this so many times. Thank goodness I have tomorrow off because I want to, Daniel Malloy was scribbling notes. I totally wanna go back and, like, snapshot those notes, but, the internet's gonna do the work for me. I'm sure they're gonna, like someone's working on it right now, I'm sure. I thought it was David of the characterization. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, but who knows? Um, yeah, so I guess I thought it was a little bit of a composite, but we'll see. I'm totally trying to see if I missed anything else. Oh, okay. Here's another thing. In terms of taking liberties with a story, I just find it like wildly inaccurate, even in Armand's telling of the story is how Lestat's character when he meets him, when they're when he's talking when they're both when Lestat and Armand are talking in French and Nikki's there and he says like, "Who is this?" And Lestat's like, "It's nothing. He's nothing." I feel like that's a big turn to be like, "This guy ain't a shit," only to, like, be like, "I love you. Let's suck on the balcony." I just it doesn't make any sense. And then to see Nikki's, like, jealousy and then, like, all of a sudden that's just gone, it doesn't it doesn't make any sense. And also yeah, I just feel like it's covering up for the truth. I'm totally looking at my notes right now. I was not expecting to see Louis, like, spill the beans so early on, and we're in episode 3, so they have to lay the groundwork, right, for what happens moving forward. Your Valentine says, "My thing was Lestat leaving like that in Armand's point of view, but still someone so clingy, you have to murder him when he hits with Louis." Oh my god. Yeah, I get it. Oh my god, that's so that's so on point. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't, like, fall in line, right? It doesn't, like, make sense. Oh my god. My mind is just swimming. Oh, you know what I couldn't see? Let me ask you because maybe you could see. Also, clearly, I have glasses, so they were talking to a buyer. Could you see who the buyer was? I couldn't see who the buyer was. For the triptych, for the Francis Bacon triptych. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which I liked because, the actor Assad brought up a blender, right, in the panel interview, so yeah. That's true, you're right, I saw a man on Zoom, but I think it was the liaison. Yeah, that's true. They said a wife wanted to buy it for her husband. Mm. I don't know. This show has me going like full tinfoil hat. Yeah, because in the books, I mean, that's what Armand is into, right? Like stealing art and selling it. Um, yeah, that's the stuff. It was a lot. There's just a lot to chew on. Yeah, I also feel like no matter what the coven knew or didn't know, they know all of it now once they did that like initiation blood exchange with Claudia. Like now, if they didn't tip off or don't know, they know now what happened with Lestat. And I think it's so cruel that they I mean I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I think they just already know what happened with Lestat. But also that is so cruel that they're gonna make her play a child for the next 50 years. I feel like they're trying to drive her crazy on purpose. And also, do you think because it's an adaptation, so it's like so difficult to tell what is gonna be on the screen. Um, but yeah, ugh, it sucks. Poor Claudia. Um, I'm trying to think. I don't know. All I know is also according to this, and we'll see how true it is later, but this is definitely something that Armand is setting up as being put in a position, um, like he put himself in a dangerous position by loving Louis, according to Armand, because he doesn't kill him right by the end of the episode. So it's just like it's a dangerous position to be in with Santiago probably feeling like if his maker has to suffer, then this guy has to suffer, right? I don't know. But I also like that they're laying the groundwork for like through Claudia's monologue, she's pointing out how Lestat said, "Oh, the vampires are vicious," and it's like they have the illusion of this being like this coven being a family, and now we get insight like, oh, maybe Lestat just didn't want to talk about it because it was too painful. Your Valentine says the only thing in the notes I saw was that Daniel connected when Armand told his "This time I won't save you" to the note about him selling dirty magazines. Yeah, because he's trying to put together what you're trying to save me from beyond dying, like, yeah, I don't know. Daniel came to a dangerous place. You know what? Okay, yeah, let's go with that train of thought. I'll ask you and then I'll start jibber jabbering. Okay, it's Armand and Louis. What do you think? Well, okay, so with Louis, what do you think is a motivation for this interview? And then also, what is Armand's? because Armand didn't want to be a part of it. So with Armand, yeah, he doesn't want to be a part of it, but I feel like he's doing it because this is what Louis wants, and he's trying to cling to this relationship. But I think he's also enticed by that idea of seeing Daniel once more because Daniel is now older and they know that he's sick and maybe at the end of his life or they see him that way. So maybe he just wants to see him one last time. But he definitely didn't want to be in the interview, right? But for Louis, we see like very subtly that like Armand and Louis' relationship isn't as close as they're making it seem during the interviews. So I wonder if like on some like unconscious level, Louis is doing this interview to yes, to come to terms with the past. Wants to remember things that maybe at one point he thought he didn't want to remember to move forward, to just to exist. But also, I wonder if it's because he feels like, okay, this relationship has ended its course and I need closure, I think. Your Valentine says, I think it's to say they happened at the same time, but he should take better notes. Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah. I was thinking that last episode too, even though we don't know for sure. But I figured maybe those like glimmers of a memory he has are in San Francisco as well. Yeah. So I definitely think he's just trying to like, he's trying to jog his memory. I don't know. But clearly, I think Armand knows something up from last episode. And he's like, oh, ish, I don't want this guy remembering. So your Valentine says, I fear that I am more charitable to Armand than most. I just remember Armand telling Louis that they could work together to get him to say what came next. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I feel like they both have agreed to this interview and there may be like conscious decisions why they agreed to this, but I feel like internally for each character, even like on how do I say that? Unconscious level, there's like a deeper um another reason for doing the interview. So yeah, I know like Armand agreed to it, and I also think it's the same thing. Like he doesn't want to be in the interview because what happened is like unfavorable. They cut out pages from the Claudia's diary, and so he's doing this because his partner wants to do it. But I think just like in that bedroom scene from like episode one, when Armand says that, they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna get him like back on track. We're gonna get the interview on track." But in that same episode, I think it's the same episode, like Louis is like crying and also has so much gratitude um towards Daniel for helping him uncover a memory. So it's just like this is all this like bubbling emotions. And I'm like, okay, well, what's the story you're trying to tell? What do you know, like last season, Armand's when it was Rashid was saying like, oh, this is like a warning, this is like a suicide note. But I feel like even though there might be I just feel like they're kind of like not lying to themselves. They're saying they're doing the interview for one thing, but there's some other like other motives or something going on as well. My interruption is that Armand removed some memories at the end of Daniel's relationship with him, and he's trying to get that boy he was with back because who are we without our memories? Yeah. Yes. Yeah, even if it's painful. The show is gonna mess me up. I know it. It's gonna mess me up. All right. Oh, it's getting hot here. Um, what do you think is going to happen for the next episode? Yeah, because it's episode 4. Yeah. It won't show me the next episode title card yet. Oh, please do. Please do. Your Valentine crackpot theories. I'm here for it. Crackpot theory that Louis knows he is at the end of his relationship with Armand and has brought Daniel to take his place. Unquote. Oh my gosh. Wow. That would be so sad, but also oddly sweet, um, and also manipulative because they do things without considering like what Daniel actually wants. Yeah, that's true. And episode 4, I don't know what's going to go on in episode 4 because so much is happening. Episode 4, Claudia becomes more disillusioned with the coven and seeks out more. Oh, that's right. Yes, yeah, I think you're right. Relationship with Madeline. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Becomes no. Yeah, I hear you. I get it. Um, that's right, Madeline. Okay, I'm on board with that. I think next episode, yeah, we're gonna see the friction, how much she actually doesn't like being at the theater. It's probably when Daniel reads F those vampires and they make Madeline a vampire. And so I think maybe I'm gonna piggyback off of that and say that probably by the end of episode 4 is when she gets at least taken by the coven. Like we know something's up. So episode 5 is going to be I think episode 5 is going to be explosive between Daniel starting to get back his memories and what happens to the trial, the theatrical trial. I think that's going to all happen in episode 5 because there's only so many episodes. There's 8 episodes. My God, there's so much to cover. They hit so much in the show. They just like really cram it in, but in a way that still works. Like it doesn't feel like anything's too much, you know? Oh no. Oh, maybe Louis is going to try to leave because Armand didn't kill him. So last ditch is to turn Madeline for Claudia and run off within within a future ex-husband. Yeah, that's also true. Yeah, he could probably be trying to set her up. Yeah, this is a tough one. I don't know if you I don't know if you follow No Context Lestat, but they have a YouTube channel and an Instagram, and it's so funny because they like snapshot that moment where Lestat and Louis are kissing, and they said something along the lines of, well, Louis is probably just kissing the cement or the wall or whatever. And it's so funny because it ended up being true. Um, because it's Lestat in his imagination, right? That moment of being like, because that's what Louis he has that like hateful, passionate love, which is totally toxic, by the way, towards Lestat. So it's intriguing that also that's when he expresses his passion for Lestat. But I feel like it's interesting that once or once Louis' life is threatened and there's like this very like dangerous dynamic, is that's when he invites Armand up to his apartment. This episode was paced rather well. I only got overwhelmed when Claudia was speaking about her time with he who shall not be named. Yeah, and man, that broke my heart. That broke my heart because she's opening up a very like traumatizing experience and telling Louis, and it's like her way of being like, this is how important this is to me. Like that terrible thing happened, and now I finally have a chance to be safe. And so heartbreaking, so heartbreaking. Your Valentine, like, hello, yes, he kissed that random man so hard. No wonder he was off balance. Yeah, truly. Yeah, I just want the best for her life, but sadly, her life is nothing but suffering. Yeah, and I feel like she said something a little bit more clearly that I've been thinking, which is last season, when everything happens with Killer and she comes back home and she tells Louis like, "Come with me. We'll find people that are like worthy of your love." I actually think that was Claudia manipulating him. I do think she cares about both of them, and also Lestat treated her terribly. But I also don't think she necessarily went back for Louis because I think she because that's what she wanted to do for him to separate Louis from Lestat. I don't think it was just that. I think it was like that other motive of I've been out in the world. I cannot survive on my own. I need to take one of these guys, and Louis is a lesser of evil. I'll talk him into taking off with me, but we cannot stay with Lestat. So I also think that was more of a motivation than anything. And I feel like that point was driven home within her monologue. So yeah, she went back to comfortability. Yeah. Like just to safe like what she thinks is safety, considering Lestat's there. And she's already experienced a lot. But yeah, because even on her journey, what did she write in her journal was that Louis was dead weight. But I think it's just like he maybe did wait, but it's someone to help her navigate traveling through the world. She can't just do it on her own. It's just too it's too scary being the young vampire that they turned her into. So I don't know. But yeah, with that said, can we end on some sort of happy note? I'm trying to think. Um, we'll end this on a happy note. Um, I really liked that in Lestat when he was playing, he called Louis a hoe. in his singing, which is really just a reflection of how he feels about himself, you know? But, that had me so tickled. I mean, Sam Reed brings it. Oh my gosh. But yeah, with that said, I'll end our I'll end our chat. I'll end the stream. Thank you for everyone that popped in. Thank you, your Valentine, and also I know someone else came in. Wild Marjoram Diesel Punk, who hasn't seen the episode yet, but we chatted last time. But yeah, thank you. Um, all right, so just a heads up as I close this out. Um, I have AMC Plus, but I'm watching this at the same time everyone else is on AMC. So I'm doing that. And then so episode 4, but episode 5, I might handle it differently. I might watch it at midnight. I don't know if I can wait because it's gonna be so heavy. I might see it at midnight, but I'm assuming what's gonna happen happens that episode. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Anyways, all right. Thank you for being here. Anybody watching the replay, thank you, love you, subscribe. And you know what? I'll see you next time in the chat.